The Vice President of the United States, V-POTUS, is the second highest ranking office in the executive branch of the United States federal government after the President of the United States, POTUS, and ranks first in the presidential line of succession. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. You have heard about POTUS, President of the United States of America. Know more about the V-POTUS, the Vice President of the United States. Before moving ahead, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. The Vice President is also an officer in the legislative branch as the President of the Senate. In this capacity, the Vice President is empowered to preside over the United States Senate, but may not vote except to cast a tie-breaking vote. The Vice President is indirectly elected at the same time as the President to the 4-year term of office by the people of the United States through the Electoral College, but the electoral votes are cast separately for these two offices. Following the passage in 1967 of the 25th Amendment of the United States Constitution, a vacancy in the office of the Vice President may be filled by presidential nomination and confirmation by a majority vote in both houses of Congress. The modern Vice Presidency is a position of significant power and is widely seen as an integral part of President's administration. The presidential candidate select the candidate for the Vice Presidency as their running mate in the lead up to the presidential election. While the exact nature of the role varies in each administration, since the Vice President serves in office is by election, the President cannot dismiss the Vice President, and the personal working relationship with the President varies. Most modern Vice President serves as the key presidential advisor, governing partner, and representative of the President. The Vice President is also a statutory member of the United States Cabinet and United States National Security Council, and thus plays a significant role in executive government and national security matters. As the Vice President's role within the executive branch has expanded, the legislative branch role has contracted. Vice President now preside over the Senate only infrequently. The role of the Vice Presidency has changed dramatically since the office was created during the 1787 Constitutional Convention. Originally, sometime of an afterthought, the Vice Presidency was considered an insufficient office for much of the nation's history, especially after the 12th Amendment means that Vice President was no longer the runner-up in the presidential election. The Vice President's role began steadily growing in importance during the 1930s, with the office of the Vice President being created in the executive branch in 1939, and has significant growth much further due to its increase in power and prestige. The Vice Presidency is now often considered to be stepping stone to the presidency. Since the 1970s, the Vice President has been afforded an official residence at number 1 Observatory Circle. The Constitution does not expressly assign the Vice Presidency to a branch of the government, causing a dispute among scholars about which branches the office belong to, the executive, the legislative, both or neither. The modern view of the Vice President as an office of the executive branch, one isolated almost entirely from the legislative branch, is due in large part to the assignment of executive authority to the Vice President by either the President or Congress.